Hey crafty friends, I'm back with a process video. This is for the Hip Kit Club design team, and this is my third project with the November kits, and my assignment this week was actually to make a layout inspired by the November mood board. And I put the mood board in at the beginning of this video so you can kind of see what the mood board looks like, and you can always go to the Hip Kit Club Facebook group if you want to see the mood board like slower and not like zooming past you at 2 seconds. But I decided to take on something that was a little ambitious and to recreate that watercolor background that was in the first image of the mood board. It was it had some like aquas and some pinks and some purples and some orangey colors, and those were all colors that I had from previous color kits, and so I decided I was going to be a little ambitious and recreate that background, and I think it works out. So I started with the shimmers in I probably should have my paints. I started with the shimmers color, and I think it's Meant to Be is what I started with, and that was in the November, yeah, perfect. It's called It's Meant to Be, and that was in the November color kit. And then I layered Good Old Summertime on top of that, and that's a Creamies. And that's the pink color that you'll see me use in a second. And then on top of that, I layered shimmers in Sunflower, and that was from the I feel so old now. The September color kit. And then the final color I used is the purple, and that's Wisteria, and that was also from the September color kit. And I always say this, but I highly recommend you get the color kits, because if you're like me and you like mixed media and you like making messes on pages, the color kits are a great way to go. So what I did first was I put down a solid wash of that blue and it's minty teal, that I guess let's call it teal, that teal color in stripes. And then I went in and I added the pink stripes, and then after that I added the yellow stripes, and I'm hitting it with my heat tool between colors because I don't want them to blend too much. I want them to be individual colors so you can see the individual stripes, but I also want them to be soft. And so by hitting it with my heat tool between colors, it stops it from becoming muddy, especially when I like put the purple down next to the yellow. Like, those are complementary colors on the color wheel, and so sometimes when they get too close to each other, they mix and they become this weird muddy thing. But by drying the layers in between each color, that doesn't happen. And then at the end, what I did was I just took a damp paintbrush and I like softened all the harsh edges. So I didn't have like that, strong wet line at the top. And then because I didn't start all my layers at the top, I started some in the middle. I just went in with the wet paintbrush to kind of soften it up. And it looks kind of crazy now, but I left it alone for a few hours to dry. I didn't want to dry it with my heat tool. I wanted to leave it and let it do its own thing. And when I finally came back to it, it had warped so much that the paper was almost folded and curled on, and it curled on itself. It was folded in half. And so when I went back to my desk and I saw it, I had like panicked. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to fix this, which you'll see what I do next. So I add some ink splatter because the image on the mood board had some like cube splatters, and I wish I was like painty enough where I could paint cubes, but I figured it was just easier to just do some like regular ink splatters just to get the image, get the feel of the image. And then what I did off camera was I came back to my curled layout. So I matted it on gray cardstock. This cardstock was in the color kit. And then I stitched a border using some like dusty blue thread. And then the other thing I did was I took some teal thread and some pink thread, and I just did some tone on tone stitching. So like I extended some of the pink strips, and I extended some of the blue, like that tealy color. I extended some of those swatches, and I was going to do all the colors because I have purple thread, and then I realized I didn't have yellow thread, and so I stopped with the pink and the blue because I figured if I did the purple, it would look like I just kind of forgot to do the yellow. So I just did those two colors and then made a note to add yellow thread to my shopping list. So now I'm working on my photo. And my photo is of these 2 tickets that I'm holding. Joshua and I went to Coney Island over the summer, and we're big kids. Well, I'm a big kid and he puts up with me. And every time we go to Coney Island, I just have to get on the Tilt-A-Whirl. Like, I understand that I am 28 now and I'm probably too old for silly rides. And then Coney Island is so disrespectful because the Tilt-A-Whirl is in the quote unquote kiddie park, even though the Tilt-A-Whirl is a grown up ride. So we had to go to the kiddie park and get tickets to get on the Tilt-A-Whirl. And the way it works is you just buy tickets for the ride you wanted. So we literally just got on the Tilt-A-Whirl and went home. But I just thought it was funny that I have these tickets that say kiddie park when Josh and I are both very old and not children anymore. So that's what I'm scrapping. And I chose to print it in color because it was just me holding tickets and the tickets were pink and I thought it worked. So then what I did was I pulled out a bunch of papers out my stash. I wanted this really giant photo layer. And because I had this messy watercolor in the background, I distressed the edges of all my photo mats. And so I just kind of edited that out because you didn't want to watch me spend 10 minutes distressing each layer. But I use a pink layer, I use a teal layer, I use kind of that dark teal, almost navy, a mustard, and then I grounded the whole thing on black and white just to have a little bit of neutral. And then I opened the Heidi Swapp Emerson Lane ephemera pack. This came in the embellishment kit, so if you have the November embellishment kit, this is the ephemera pack that was included. And I started pulling out bits and pieces. The first thing I did was grab that frame that said documented, and it was pink and white, and I thought it was perfect, so I put it over my photo because more layers is more. And right around here is where I struggle because the Emerson Lane pack, it's stunning, but it's pink and yellow and navy. And there's no like teal and there's no purple. And I realized that I had painted all these colors on my background and I had to find these colors somewhere. And you'll see what I do to fix it. The other thing I've been doing recently is these cardstock stickers. I don't know who I saw do it first, but you can use a powder tool to take the stickiness off of a sticker, and then you can use it like a die cut. And that's what I've been doing because I cannot commit and I like to be able to move things around. And when you put a sticker down, like, you're kind of stuck. And I knew I wanted to use these labels as layers, but I just didn't know where I wanted. So everything, I just pulled off all these stickers and I used my powder tool to take the stickiness off, and now I have a bunch of die cuts. Now this ephemera pack is full of vellum, in addition to cardstock pieces, and those can be a little bit challenging, especially when you have a background as busy as this. And so I use mostly the solid cardstock pieces, but I do manage to tuck a few really pretty vellum florals in, and you'll see how I make that work. So now I'm just working on my photo cluster. I grabbed that sticker that I, again, used the powder tool to take the stickiness off of, and it just says Hello Weekend, and I thought it was perfect. And now I'm like auditioning a few tags. I end up going with that pink and yellow tag that has that really fun floral background. And I keep wanting to make this navy work, but my plan for putting that dark teal cardstock in my photo mat was that I would be able to use the navy pieces in the Emerson Lane collection, but it was just too dark. And so I eventually just end up pulling it out and scrapping it and just not using it. So now I've been, again, tucking things behind my paper layers. I do this a lot now because I just like the way things look peeking out from between paper layers. I think it just adds a little bit of interest. And now I'm adding all those cardstock labels. I love the Emerson Lane sticker sheet because of all those labels. You can use them as, intended as journaling spots, or you can just use them to add interest to a page, which is what I've been doing. So then this green die cut says remember, and there isn't any green on the page, but tucked in and mixed into everything else that's going on, it doesn't seem like it stands out, like it doesn't belong. And I really like the way that background looks with this photo. I think it kind of feels like carnival-y and circusy. My husband says it looks like a rainy day, which is the feel of the mood board. So I guess I met the challenge of the mood board layout, but I just like the way this watercolor background looks. I like the busyness of it, but the colors are also soft and muted that it kind of works. So I'm really glad that I took that leap of faith and tried something new, because I'm, all about that ink smushing, and this is really different for me, but I'm happy with it. I really like the way it works out. So now I'm moving things around. I end up removing that navy die cut and I replace it with a pink one that says Admit 1 and it's a ticket and it works perfectly. I was trying to make that pink vellum flower work, and you'll see it eventually goes back on the layout. I do make it work. And the other thing I did with my stitching was I left all the threads hanging on the front because I thought it would just add to the messy factor. And once the layout's complete, like I really like how messy, I keep using that word, but that's pretty much what it is. It's all very like messy and loose and not like, it's not a grid or a geometric layout. It's just very easy, and that's my scrapping style. I like things to be easy and free. And here's how I fix my lack of teal. I pulled out these puffy stickers. Now these are a Hip Kit Club exclusive that Kimberly and Kim designed, and they are stunning. I love flowers and this color palette is perfect. So I grab a yellow puffy one, then I put a cluster at the bottom under my documented frame, and it says family, and it has pink and teal and yellow, and it has all these colors. And then I put a blue one on the left side of my photo cluster, and now I have all my colors kind of met. So then I keep adding more. There is a pink one that says celebrating with you, and I put it at the top of my photo cluster, and then eventually I'm going to add another teal one on the bottom that says love you so much, because I just wanted a little bit more of that minty teal color on my photo cluster, since it's the most prominent color in my background. Now I'm dusting off some of those the paper shreddy bits from distressing on my edges. That makes a mess and leaves paper everywhere. And now I'm making some of these vellum flowers work. So I tucked this pink one behind my photo cluster, right on behind those labels, and the watercolor in the background is so faint that it still shows through enough, and it's really pretty. And then I grabbed this like yellowy green one and I put it on the bottom, just because I didn't want to only have the vellum in one place, so I thought it would make more sense to put the vellum on the bottom. And then I grabbed this little vellum banner and I put that on the left side, just so I could put a little bit more yellow and all the colors are carrying out. See, there's that teal piece that I was telling you about. That's another puffy sticker. And I'm like messing around trying to figure out where to put it, and I put it right in the bottom left corner, and that works. And I think all I have to do next is work on my title. And so here and I ah, because I didn't know what I wanted my title to be. Sometimes it's easier to just use those big phrase stickers because it takes all the title work out for you. And I'm staring at that gold sheet and I can't figure out what I want my title to be, and I'm just looking and I'm looking, and I get an idea because I see that sticker that says smile, and my title is This Makes Me Smile. So I pull out my craft mat because I have an idea for layering the Hip Kit Club exclusive navy stickers on top of the gold foam stickers, and these are from the Pebbles Along the Way collection. And I'm still indecisive, and so I touch my layout 100 times. I like scratch my head, I take a breather, I'm still trying to decide what I want to do, and then I commit. So what I do, and you can do this with wax paper or parchment paper, which I probably would have done if I had it nearby, but the craft mat works perfectly. So I like to audition my title before I commit, because I would hate to stick it down on my layout and then I hate it and then I can't pick it up, or you like rip the letters or whatever. And because these craft sheets are non-stick, which makes them perfect for like mixed media, they also work really well for trying out titles. But again, if you have like parchment paper or wax paper or something like that lying around, that also works really well. So what I did was I decided to split my title. So I put one word on the left side of the sticker and one word on the right side of the sticker, and I'm just making sure that it works here. And that's pretty much it for the layout. I think it worked out really well. The mood board was really fun to play with because it had a lot of my favorite colors and my favorite shapes in it. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to head to the Hip Kit Club site to grab a kit of your own. The November kits are amazing, and we're like a hop, skip, and a jump from December and Christmas crafting, and I cannot wait to play with all the exclusive products that are in these kits. So again, that's all I have for you, friends. Remember to keep it crafty and have a great day. And again, don't forget to head to the shop to try out all the exclusive products in the kits. And that's it. Have a great one, friends.